The New York Knicks are yet again eyeing off another big name free agent. This time it's actually currently being reported that the New York Knicks are interested in potentially signing Christian Wood. This is all being reported by Ian Begley. Now, I actually believe this would be a very interesting player to go after, although I do believe Wood will most likely sign with the Detroit Pistons for a pretty long-term deal. I could definitely see him signing for like 4 to 5 years with the Pistons, just based on the fact on how much potential he showed at the end of the season. He's pretty much like one of their only good young players, so they're going to be wanting to very much keep Christian Wood for the long term. Not just that, I do believe that a player like Christian Wood, he will most likely, as I say, get it done with the Pistons, but if a player like Chris Paul, which has been very highly rumored at this point, to potentially want to go to the New York Knicks, if a player like Chris Paul was to actually get to the Knicks team, I feel like it would definitely persuade, a lot of free agents free agents and players who are up for trade, who Victor Oladipo, DeMar DeRozan, Danilo Gallinari, Christian Wood, Carmelo Anthony, and even, again, Drew Holiday, who could potentially be up for trade. All of those players, I feel like will, definitely be encouraged to maybe join the New York Knicks, especially if they got Chris Paul. And I know 50-50 fans, some 50% of Knicks fans kind of want Chris Paul, the others don't. I'm really forward and towards the Knicks actually going out and getting Chris Paul, as I really like what Paul was able to do with OKC, and I genuinely believe that if Paul could get his hands, on a player like potentially RJ Barrett and just kind of get to work with him, I could definitely see RJ Barrett's points per game going up to 14 to 20. Very similar to what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's did when he went from 11 to 20 points per game as well with, the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I feel like not just that, Mitchell Robinson could definitely get a lot better with the New York Knicks as well if he did play with Chris Paul. And yeah, again, another player like Christian Wood who can do the pick and roll and, shoot from three. He's definitely another player that could be very nice with, potentially Chris Paul on the team. There is a huge issue that I do have with Christian Wood to the New York Knicks, though, and that's actually, what happens with Mitchell Robinson? Because, yes, some people would be like, Christian Wood can play power forward, right? Well, honestly, I don't know if he can play power forward, because when the Detroit Pistons did have Andre Drummond on the team, Christian Wood was pretty much not really known by too many people. He was averaging, I believe, up to 10 points per night or something like that. He was doing okay. He wasn't really anything too special, and he had to play a lot of minutes at power forward. But as soon as Andre Drummond got traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers, Christian Wood came out and played center and averaged 20 points per game or something, and was really good from the 3-point range. So I genuinely believe that for Christian Wood to be at his most effective, he needs to be playing that center position, and I just feel like that's how it's going to be. So if the New York Knicks were to get Christian Wood to the team, then what would happen with Mitchell Robinson? Would Mitchell Robinson continue to play the 20 minutes per night or so on the bench, and he'd have to play again 5 to 10 minutes maybe per night with Christian Wood, where Wood would be forced to play that power forward position again? Look, if Wood can improve his jumper, which he has been heaps, then you could see him maybe at that power forward position. But I feel like the issue is his height and mobility. He's not exactly the fastest player out there, and I feel like that's why he can't play power forward. The reason he was able to get open so much is because when he was playing center, he was able to get away from players like, who really knows? I'm trying to think of an example here. Like a JaVale McGee, who might not have been fast enough to keep up with him on center, but when he was to be playing, power forward, he would be matched up against players like Giannis or Anthony Davis, who could keep up with him and, again, limit his scoring ability. So that's why I genuinely believe that for Wood to be mostly effective, he needs to be at that center position. But what I feel like would be pretty interesting is, imagine, just based on the fact that Chris Paul, it could be persuading, Carmelo Anthony and Danilo Gallinari to join. I believe Gallinari will come to the Knicks if Paul does as well. I don't really know about Carmelo Anthony, but I'm just going to look at it from this perspective. Imagine having Danilo Gallinari and Christian Wood as your center/power forward. That would be absolutely lethal. I believe Christian Wood towards the end of the season was averaging like 40% from 3. Gallinari's about a 40% from 3 shooter as well. Imagine those two players with Chris Paul's playmaking. We've already seen what Chris Paul was able to do with, potentially with Gallinari, with OKC. It was actually pretty good, and what I feel like the flexibility of this is with the Knicks is they're going to be getting, if they get Gallinari, he's probably going to be on 15 to 20 million a season. Wood will be on about 10 to 15 million a season. I believe those are like the two contract situations, but think about it like this. Paul would have all the freedom on the Knicks. He would have Gallinari and Christian Wood as his two catch-and-shoot big man, and let's just say the only issue may be that Chris Paul wants to do a pick and roll with a player. Gallinari and Christian Wood aren't going to be the greatest players to do that pick and roll with, to get them in the paint for an open layup dunk or something like that. Again, those both pick and roll players would be mainly more effective of, pick and rolling to the 3-point line. But where this could come in interesting and where Mitchell Robinson could come in interesting here as well is if it's not working between these two players on maybe a night where they're playing like an Anthony Davis or someone like that, and it's getting too predictable because they keep pick and rolling to the 3-point line, and they're not pick and rolling to maybe an open dunk or a catch and shoot, mid-range, or maybe even just a simple layup, then they could bring on Mitchell Robinson to make it more unpredictable to play with a Danilo Gallinari and or a Christian Wood. So we could see maybe more post play, more open layups / dunks, and maybe even maybe a couple foot mid-range or something like that. Look, he's not a efficient mid-range shooter at all, Mitchell Robinson, but I feel like you guys get where I'm kind of heading towards this situation. Not just that, let's just say the Knicks are able to bring in Wood, Gallinari to the team, and, maybe even, maybe Oladipo or DeMar. I'm going to say DeMar because they've been very interested in him. Imagine that starting 5 real quick. You would have Chris Paul at point guard, DeMar DeRozan at shooting guard, RJ Barrett at small forward, Danilo Gallinari at power forward, Christian Wood at center, with Mitchell Robinson, Frank Ntilikina, Elfrid Payton, maybe a couple other players here and there. Who even knows if Carmelo Anthony, if he does look to come and sign, to come off the bench. That is a very good playoff team. That is 100% a playoff team. As I said, I believe RJ Barrett could get up to way past 14 points. Look, if he's playing with DeMar and that, I don't know if he's going to get up to 20, but I could see him averaging 16. Imagine that. You'd have Chris Paul averaging his consistent maybe 18 points per night with the 6 to 7 assists or so. RJ Barrett as well could be on the 15 to 17 points per game. DeMar as well could be on the 17 points per game. Gallinari could remain on the 18 points per game. Again, Christian Wood could be on that as well. It would be insane. It would be an absolutely insane offense. And then you could say, well, what about their defense? Like, that offense is really good, but is their defense any good as well? DeMar DeRozan is a pretty nice, defender. RJ Barrett is, I'd say, about average. Chris Paul is above average, a really good defender. Gallinari and Christian Wood are just okay. I feel like Wood is definitely better than Gallinari, but they're just Wood is probably about average. Gallinari is below average, I'd say. But then off the bench, Ntilikina, a very good defender on the team as well. Mitchell Robinson, a very good defender. Elfrid Payton's about average, but they could still go out and get more defenders here and there as well. The possibilities are endless for the New York Knicks, and I do feel like Christian Wood would be a nice player for them. But it's no guarantee that they're going to be able to get him. I still feel like he's going to sign with the Pistons. There's no guarantee that Gallinari will want to go to the Knicks, even if Chris Paul does go there. I feel like they could definitely get DeMar DeRozan because, again, he seems to be very keen to playing with Chris Paul on the Knicks. Carmelo Anthony wants to play with Chris Paul on the Knicks, I do believe as well. I'm just really keen and very interested to see how this is all going to go. But of course, I would very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel for latest sports content and sports news, NBA content in general as well. Don't forget to comment in the comment section down below. Should the Knicks go out and get Christian Wood? Should they not go out and get him? Should they go out and get players like Chris Paul, etc.? Again, I'd definitely really like to know all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. But of course, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel, MIRO/vlogging channel. Don't forget to check out my podcast as well, if you haven't already. Links for them will all be in the description down below. But as I've said, I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.